time.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Watch out, we'll suck your blood.
All right, man. It is episode 400.
400
is in the house, man.
Yeah, don't feel special or anything because we did not do jack shit special.
No, nothing. So, I'm the host of Fans of Patrol on this 400th, time around.
Mm-hmm.
And, actually it's been a lot more than that with the Patreon and other
Sure,
shows.
and like little stuff, and then of course there's the ones that maybe you shouldn't have counted, and they're in there, and it's like, whatever, what fucking number is this? 75, 800, we don't know.
That one did not count. It sucked ass,
Yeah, it's or just like, you all know what I'm saying. If you've made a podcast or you listen to a podcast, you're like, that one didn't count.
Yeah, I should probably not count all the ones with a certain co-host was on the shows and stuff like that, like back in the day.
You're so rude.
Oh,
I bet people out there are still listening and they're crying now.
Oh, fuck them.
They know who they are.
Fuck them.
Oh, Jesus, man.
So anyway, man. So we got a regular old show for you, but it's a good show because it's a lot of good shit that's out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a announcement to talk about in the Marvel universe, so we'll talk about that. And
Mm-hmm.
we went to the old streaming service, man, and last week 3 episodes of Andor was released, and now it's actually a 4th. So we're gonna do a review discussion of what's out so far. Well, not the 4th show. Also, man, we talked about this. We both said we wanted to see it. We
did, yes.
And, the Munsters came out, man, and so available on streaming. I got the chance to rent it. I stayed in my living room. So it was great.
Wait, it was on Netflix. Did you pay for it?
Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
God effing damn it.
Welcome to the club. I've been here before where I paid for shit and I was on a streaming service. How much you pay for it?
$5.
Oh, fuck. If you said 20, I would have shit. I would have absolutely shit. No, that's not bad. But it was on Netflix.
Wow, I feel like such a boob. I feel like
well, I'm glad that I saw it on Netflix, like when you turn on when we turn on the PlayStation, it's like, hey, guess what's on this?
Yeah. Son of a bitch. It's like I'm mad now.
Oh, you guys, honestly, I know this is such a fucking bitchy move, but it warms my heart because I do remember I don't remember what fucking Equalizer I think I paid for.
You do that shit all the time.
I do. So fucking stupid. I don't even I was like, fucking fine.
I'm like, it was right there. It was for free.
But to be fair, you often buy movies without seeing them for the first time and just keep them.
Yeah, I do. I just,
So it's $5 is nothing to you.
Yeah, I kind of got away from that because one day I looked up about maybe a year ago, and I was like, everything that I had bought was on one of the streaming services I had, and I was just like, why am I buying this shit? I was like, God.
I mean, it's owning some. I mean, obviously, owning digital things when you're gonna watch them again is something that you probably need to do because there's just not a lot of physical copies around anymore. But it is weird to own something digitally that you own it, you're never gonna watch it.
Well, what gets me is stuff that I am gonna watch. That I'll say, oh, it's on streaming service, like something like Halloweeny or something, or Christmassy, and then they remove all that shit when you want.
Fuck yeah, in the month. And I think obviously I don't know how that show works, but obviously it's probably because it costs more to have a highly desirable film like a Halloween film. It costs more to have it on in October.
Yeah.
And they're so cheap. I'm like, no, just reconcentrate the effort. Put them on there in October.
Right
What's
there
this? Yeah.
on Netflix.
Top 10.
Shit.
I can't believe you didn't believe me. What do you think I came on here and was like? I imagined when I watched it on Netflix. You wanted to pick at your own scab. You were like, I already know it's true, and I want to poke at the wound. I'm gonna go look at it.
Well, actually, what I really wanted to do is to see how it was. It wasn't highlighted. My stuff has been on Jeffrey Dahmer the whole week.
Yeah.
So it's just been so normally, like you say, it pops up. Nothing popped up for me, but Jeffrey Dahmer, and I ain't watching that. So anyway, so we're reviewing, discussing the Munsters as our main topic, and that's gonna be the show, y'all. So I think it's great. Dad loves it, Mom loves it, Tiff loves it. You ready to roll?
I guess. I'm not sure what's going on.
Let's go. We are back, man. It's time for all the stuff that we do. But before we do that, it's time for social media. Tipple Bite, could you let the people know other places they can see us, and tell their friends about us?
Oh, yeah. Get to us on fans at fanspatrol.com. I'm sorry, that's our email. And our website is fansonpatrol.com. And then you can get to us on our social media, which is at Fans on Patrol on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Check out our TikTok, Fans Patrol Zero, our Patreon, which we do special episodes for $1. You can hear those. Our YouTube, and then, of course, listen on your favorite listening platform.
Indeed. It feels kind of good to talk to you today, Tiff. I had the Rona, man.
You sure did.
And the show that we put out last week was previously recorded.
Previously, all the rest of these live.
But we did that, and then I got sick, so it sat for a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was. I remember, obviously because we record it and then it comes out, there's like a kind of a delay between like what has happened and like what I'm hearing if I listen to it. So there was such a delay. I was like, I didn't fucking remember shit.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I said that.
Right. Yeah, because it was a while, right? Your boy was woo. God damn it.
Yeah, that was your first time.
First time I had never.
So that really kicks your ass, exactly. Some people it doesn't.
I had 3.5 days on my back. I didn't sleep a lot, but I was down.
Were you delirious?
I wasn't delirious, but I was very dizzy. I was very achy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing shit. I laid right over on the couch over there and watched TV for 3.5 days, and then I tested negative on that Thursday, but I still felt like shit.
Yep.
Friday, I still kind of felt like shit. Saturday, I went to the gym, but that was a mistake. I was in there like, oh my God. So it's back. I'm back,
You're back. Welcome back. I'm glad that you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm an old man. That shit could take me out.
I could take anybody out, honestly.
So, man, before we get started, man, I was, I heard it was an internet rumor.
I heard a rumor.
Yeah, it was a goddamn rumor that, it's probably some bullshit too. They said that they were about to start filming in December for a sequel to Game of Thrones. Now, we know we got a prequel going, but a sequel called Jon Snow.
Please, listen. Leave me alone.
Leave
me alone. Stop doing this. Do something else. Listen, I get that, like, within the Game of Thrones shit, which I guess is a rumor, but, like, within the Game of Thrones, there's lots of stuff, right? It's a rich world where we can explore a lot of stuff. Now, think about all the other things that exist in which rich worlds exist. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about, like, well, if we don't do this, we're not exploring the full possibility. I'm like, no, bitch, you have explored the possibility.
Yeah, so Jon Snow, very popular character,
Yeah, everyone loves him.
Yep, yeah. He's supposed to be the Black Knight in one of these Marvel things, but that last...
Oh, the character, the guy who plays him. Yeah, he was in that Eternals, right? I don't think that's happening.
Harrington, I think the Eternals is gone.
Right, so he was going to be, and now he is...
But the comic book character wasn't with the Eternals. He was an Avenger.
But he's in that movie, right?
Yeah, for 5 minutes. So they.
But that was like the kind of whoop. Now it's just going to go whoop, right back under the rug.
But I think that they can still bring him into the regular universe because of that movie. They don't have
who is this person? Who is this character? Why do I give a shit?
The Black Knight, he was kind of dope, man. He had the ebony blade, that could cut through anything, and he had like a horse like Pegasus, he fly and shit. And it's kind of cool. He had, little enhanced. I think he had enhanced strength, but he was actually a man at a time, so kind of dope.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, sure, not dope, but also actually in this day of like superhero glut that we have, which is not to say it's a bad thing, but you're really gonna have to come out hard for me to be like, okay, another one will do. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, just keep it to yourself. It's just like there's other stuff going on.
Speaking of other stuff going on, I saw that tomorrow. Tomorrow, Interview with a Vampire comes out. And I know that's used to be your shit right there. So.
Yeah, it used to is the word.
No more.
No, it's not.
No more.
No. I think potentially around the time that Twilight became a thing, and I don't like that, but whatever, whatever you enjoy.
Sure you don't. Go ahead.
I don't like it.
Okay.
What? Okay. I'm confused as to what's happening, but okay. But like when that was happening, it wasn't even necessarily like a Twilight issue because I was whatever, but like it was like all of a sudden vampires were everywhere, right?
Everywhere. Hey, Tiff, they starting to pick up momentum again.
Yeah, they're coming back. Here they come. Here they come. You can hear them.
Speaking of vampire,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was your advice, but I actually watched the new Fright Night the other day. Just
Yeah, I like that movie.
it wasn't that bad. It had a lot
Right.
of
I
positives.
think I heard that it was really bad. And I think maybe people
It
were
was bad.
talking about comparatively to the original Fright Night, which is very different, right?
Very
In a lot
different.
of ways. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, if you didn't have a love for Fright Night like I
Right.
do, I
Yeah.
love the original, but I was able to watch it. It had a lot of stars in it, like people who are stars now. I was like, God damn. I
Yeah.
mean, well, they had Anton Yelchin.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought
Damn. They,
nothing wrong with it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
No,
It,
it
it
was
was more
fine.
scary. It was more scary than like the
Wasn't
original one.
scary, but tried to be scary.
Right. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, honestly, sometimes when I say like a movie is scary, there's obviously movies that actually do scare me because I am easily scared. But like movies that like I could tell that the intent of the movie was to be scary, right?
Yeah.
Rather than like the original one, which is scary, but more like
For the time, it had its scary
scare.
moments.
Yes, no, it definitely does. But it's just like a goofy charm to it that
Oh,
you enjoy,
100%.
right? Right. It's
100%.
different. It's a different movie.
Yeah, so I did enjoy it. We probably should have did it for one of our Halloween movies. Anyway,
It's not too late.
no,
You act like the time is over.
yeah,
You do it with Patreon.
they made a part 2 to that series. That's
Fright Night?
Fright Night 2. Yeah,
I've
they
never
actually
seen
had
it.
a Fright Night 2 for the original one that wasn't that
Sure.
good, but it was still the same characters. But they have
A Fright Night 2 for the new one.
they had a Fright Night 2 for the new.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. And it's the sister again. I mean, it's it turns
Sure.
into the chick thing and stuff. So interesting.
Interesting. Taking notes.
Yeah.
When we watch this
Yeah.
later.
So the real news that we have today is that
The real news.
there's
It is kind of a big deal.
it's 2 announcements that Ryan Reynolds came out. Ryan Reynolds has had such a boner for Hugh Jackman.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, when I watch this stuff, I get sort of an icky feeling because I am never 100% sure how much of it is business and how much of it is reality.
Well, let me put it this way: Ryan Reynolds is a phenomenal businessman for sure.
Sure.
But I think what you see is what you get with his bullshit, because it's just like you keep saying, you keep seeing the same thing. It's him. You know what I'm saying? And
Right. Well, no, like I say, is he funny or is he handsome?
well, I think it's a little bit of both, but
I think he's mostly handsome,
He's been
right?
chasing
And
this
he's a
man.
bit more funny because he's handsome.
he's been chasing this man to get
Yes.
into the Marvel. He wanted Hugh Jackman the whole time, but that X-Men thing was kind of dying off, and then the shock of the century came by putting Professor X and actually putting mutants in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I love Patrick Stewart, but every time I see him, I'm just surprised he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yes, and it breaks my heart because it's just like I do love him, but I'm like, oh, he's still alive.
You don't even watch
Still got him.
the John Picard
No.
show, and
No.
he's in that John Picard, that John Luke Picard show. It's really good, Tiff. I think you would like it. And he's old. That's for sure.
He's old. He certainly is old.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So they're kind of like they kind of reopen that possibility, right?
Oh, it's wide open at this point. But there's no, there was. Well, let me say this. When at D23, they showed absolutely no track toward mutants for the Marvel universe, and I thought that's the direction we was gonna go. To me, I think it'd be smart because you got rid of Captain America, you got rid of Iron Man, and I kind of feel like the Marvel universe is kind of limping right now. I just feel that way. The Spider-Man is great, but I still, there's not.
You don't think Doctor Strange is a good enough hinge for the whole thing?
Not for the whole thing. And he's not even in the comic books, not for the whole thing.
Sure.
It's a reason why they keep coming back to those 3 characters, because they're it. They are it. So anyway, we had a quick little, trailer, not even a trailer, announcement with.
Yeah, it's more like a.
I thought it was pretty brilliant with him, because you never know if his shit is real or not. And I was looking, and then I was like, oh, that actually is him. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll do another. I was like, oh my God, he finally got his wish. He's
So,
actually
like,
gonna be in the movie.
while I'm watching this, I have so many thoughts because I see it, and part of me is like, this is what we deserve. This is like what we've all been
100%.
wanting and needing from the beginning. And then a part of me is like, ugh, you're just like, oh, will you do it one more time? And I'm like, then there is no end. There is always a one more time. Until these people are dead, there's no guarantee that they won't claw their way out of the grave and back into this Wolverine costume.
I never thought I would be watching the Jean-Luc Picard show in his 90s. And I'm digging it. So, as long as
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm good. Yeah.
I mean, but it's just like one of those things where like the gravitas of a moment where they ask me to believe that something is the end loses value because it's never the end.
Well, that's true. The Wolverine thing happened, and I just said the Logan movie happened, and I assumed that they would just recast, which they've been talking about for the longest.
Right.
But
they will eventually.
I like how they explained that was 2029, and this is,
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But then part of me is like, I wish this would have happened first then. And it could have, and it just didn't.
I will say this, as far as Ryan Reynolds and the Deadpool property, has not disappointed. Both movies, I loved them.
No, I agree. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
I'm a little excited. What did you think about the second announcement?
Of course. Well, no, here's the thing. Because of the second announcement, I have a question about this first announcement. Did your video actually play a song?
Yeah.
Mine did not. So like the audio drops out and all I see is
talking.
No, I see the lyrics.
Yeah, the lyrics was down there, but
But there's was there sound for it for you?
It was very loud, the whole song.
They was saying the song, the real okay, so for me, because the video had problems, and I tried to watch it twice to see if I was making a mistake.
It was just that's all. Take me out.
No. The first video, was there a song? Did they sing "I Will Always Love You"?
The first time I watched the video, it did, and then the second time I watched it, like I just watched it because
the audio went out, right? But you could still see the subtitles for what it was supposed to say. So like the joke really fell flat because all I saw was like the lyrics, and I get it, right? Okay, but then I saw the second video in which they were using audio.
Yeah.
To hide the plot as a funny joke. Yeah. And so then I thought, was the first one also like, was this all a lead up to like, this is all a fucking catastrophe or?
No, when I saw the first one, it was right at the end, right when you saw the I would always love you. That's all it did. But I think that song, I think Warner Brothers owned that song. You know what I'm saying? So,
So I didn't know if, I thought my experience led me to believe that it was on purpose that there was no song, but there was a song. So just curious.
2024, Tiff. So
what, 2024 it's coming out?
2024. So
the thing is that like I think they don't neither one of them look too old, so that's good.
They don't. I was like Hugh Jackman. He's been all on Broadway since he left. The last movie he's done, and I'm like, the dude looks good.
He loves Broadway.
Yeah, he's
a big Broadway fan.
A hammy singer, that's for sure.
But I mean, I think like obviously because this is like, there's weird things that happen like within the community, right? That everybody wants to see because like there was the whole Batman versus Superman thing that got really fucked up. That should have been great.
No, you know what, Tiff? You just brought up some shit for me.
I saw you have trauma.
Yeah, because I never wanted to see that. It was fine. Like the animated thing they did, the Frank Miller version of that was great. Leave it alone. And so when they said we're doing Batman v Superman, I never was like, this is real. I really want to see. I like Batman and Superman, the comic book, when they're buddies and shit.
Like the
frenemies.
What's ultimate? What's that called when they're together?
It's called Batman and.
But what's it called? What's the ultimate something?
Brave and the Bold or something.
Fuck it, I don't remember. I'll look it up and talk to you about it later.
Yeah, man. So the hell with Batman v Superman. Anyway.
But you want to see this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, because it's it's a kind of a perfect thing. Like in the comic books, like Wolverine hates his ass. And him. And Deadpool loves him.
Right. It's like it's a Picard Q situation.
Yes.
It's like what's the other? There's another dynamic. Like there's tons of dynamics like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Joker Batman kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a love hate love hate thing. It's really I dig it. I like that.
It was a episode of the Brave and the Bold, which was a campy, like almost like 1966 Batman cartoon.
You're selling me.
Oh man, and so. I used to love it. That's where the guy, Batman, used to call his fist the hammers of justice. He's like,
yes.
Hammers of justice.
Hammers of justice.
I know, it's hilarious. He was like, I'm gonna have to do my talking with the hammers of justice.
Oh, have you ever seen like some of those old because Batman and Superman, everybody's been around for so long,
Yeah,
where the language has changed and there's just like some really
yeah.
there's a very famous one think about it all the time that my brother sent me was the Joker talking about the boner. Where he's like, I'll show you how many boners the Joker can pull. And then there's just like one where Batman's like, is Daddy gonna have to spank or something like that? Because or Papa,
Right.
something like that. You guys, I don't know all that one. I didn't read up on that one. That one gave me the creeps.
It was the one episode of Brave and the Bold. The Joker and him had to combine forces, so he was like literally driving in the Batmobile, and the whole time he's just like, "Can I press that button? Can I press that?"
That would be me in the Batmobile.
No.
You are Batman and I am the Joker.
Yeah, that's for sure.
As soon as that's for sure. Like you've been thinking about it this whole time, you son of a bitch. So I want to talk about these trailers specifically because I do think it's kind of a very Ryan Reynolds marketing.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's very him.
Yeah.
I will say that I kind of wished that the first one had just happened and the second one hadn't.
You didn't need it.
You didn't need it, and also I thought the first one was so kind of like cheeky and like wink wink and very clever, and then the second one, I still want to see it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it, but the second one kind of detracted from that kind of like mysterious, kind of like, hey, we're finally, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then it's funny because they're like saying what they're doing and they're not actually, you can't hear it, which like that went on for too long, and I'm like, I don't care.
I don't think I've ever seen these two guys on a screen together, honestly.
I did like at the end when they showed all the pictures of them over the years together, because I mean they were in that movie together.
That one movie, where
he was Weapon X or whatever.
Oh shit, we don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about Weapon X.
We don't talk about that one. So man, that's it for the news, man. We're keeping it together.
All the news that's fit to be print. And we're just kidding because it's barely anything.
Right, but it was still good stuff. Anyway, man, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back with the highly anticipated Andor. God damn it. We'll be right back. All right, man, we are back, man. And it's time for Act 2 of
Act 2.
Lovely podcast here, man. So this is almost like it's a one shot, but they released 3 at one time. I don't know why.
So it's one shot. It's one shot, 3 bullets?
But I guess it's one shot, 3 bullets, but they so goddamn short. I didn't realize these episodes was going to be this short that I was like, oh shit. They could have just...
They were short.
Yeah, they're like 20 fucking minutes. They say 40 and then you get to 20 minutes and then they got credits.
I have noticed that with almost all like the Disney Plus like MCU Star Wars stuff is that like there's like these weird like there's the credits which take forever and then they have like after the whatever, so if the show says it's 40 minutes it's like 30 minutes.
I was like, oh, I got 40 minutes to go. Then it was over and I was like, whoa, what's happening?
Which I don't mind. I like something to end before I think it's gonna.
I don't know, 20 fucking minutes though.
Yeah, give me that 20 minutes.
I like
a short
show. I like a 40-minute show.
No.
I like a 50-minute show, to be honest.
I like a 40-minute show if you can handle it. A 50-minute show if you got the content.
Well, shit. When this first one went off, the little spoilers, it was like, huh? What the fuck? It's over? In the middle of like them having dinner? Anyway. So this is Andor TV series 2022 TV 14. It said 40 minutes. You liars. Action adventure drama. So it says here, man, prequel series to the Star Wars Rogue One. In an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, Tifflebot, Cassian will embark on a path that has destined to turn him into a rebel hero.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. So Tony Gilroy is the creator of this thing, whoever the hell he is. I don't know who Tony Gilroy is. And it stars who, Tifflebot?
Diego Luna, obviously.
The very gorgeous.
I do love him. So handsome. He's so scrappy. Kyle Soler.
Yes.
Adria Arjona.
Yes.
Joplin Sibtain.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Brasso, but I'm not sure who the person is.
Yeah.
James McArdle.
Uh-huh.
Rupert Van Sittert.
Yes.
Stellan Skarsgård.
with his creepy ass. Yeah,
All the Skarsgårds being weird.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Fiona Shaw,
Yes.
and then I'm sure there's other people who are more famous that are like, because
Coming.
there's a lot of people in this show.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. So, man, before we go any further,
hmm
I love talking about one. One word, Temple Bot. What you got for Andor?
I'm gonna say me,
You.
which is weird, but like I would say the word me because I feel like if I'm gonna watch Star Wars, this is maybe the Star Wars I would like to watch.
Ah, I got you. It's unlike any other Star Wars. I would say
Sure
that.
is.
Just like Rogue One, which but
That's and Rogue One is maybe my favorite.
second favorite for me. Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back is still the number one for me. My one word is
Damn, see, here's the thing. I know that as soon as I enjoy a Star Wars anything,
damn.
people who like Star Wars are not gonna like it.
Temple
I had a feeling. I had this moment. I had this fucking moment. I was sitting here and I was watching the Andor and I was like, hey, it's my time. I'm getting one. This is it. This is the one. And everyone's going to be excited and I'm going to get it.
Well,
And I should have known as soon as I had that thought that was not true. Because if I was enjoying it, it's not for the people who usually enjoy this shit.
First of all, let's hit the spoilers. Dude, I love the universe. I love it. So this is like 18. I think this is set up for 18 shows, and I was like, oh wow, they got a lot.
18? Oh, and that's it. Or
No. It's already been greenlit for the second and the third season, I think.
what? Why?
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's a lot going on here, but I have to tell you, the first two episodes I thought was boring as shit. And the third one, I was like, this is why I'm here. This
is why I can't be a Star Wars fan, because let's talk about the exact opposite happening to me, where I was like, I really like these first two, and this third one's getting on my ass.
It got on your ass with them running around and the shooting.
I just don't care. I don't. Do you know what I mean? I do care about that stuff, but also, while I was watching this, the phenomenon that I got, because I am not like well versed, was like there was like some talk about like some concern, just generally speaking, of like normal people trying to consume stuff like the MCU and then Star Wars, because it's starting to become so interconnected. So like for instance, I haven't watched very much of the show, so sometime of the other shows, the universe, whatever. So I feel like in this one, that character who comes, he's in another show, right?
What character?
The old man.
No, he's not. He's a fresh character. Yeah.
Well, he looks like all the other old men in Star Wars, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, I couldn't understand if I was supposed to know who this person was or not.
No. Nobody's familiar except for Diego Luna, and if you got to episode 4,
what that old man is not in an episode of what's the other thing?
He was in Thor. You talking about? He played the Dr. Savick in Thor.
No, I'm talking about
the corporate guy who went to go see the Emperor.
No, I'm talking about I thought it was in The Mandalorian. Is this not the same time frame? No,
The Mandalorian is 7 years after Return of the Jedi. This is before Star Wars. It's 5 years before Star Wars is where it comes on. It says 5 years BB Y. That means the Battle of Yavin. That's when Luke blew up the Death Star. So it's 5 years before Luke blew up the Death Star. So this is actually, to me, the best time in Star Wars. I like this dark shit, before, everything got light. And I like the shit right after Return of the Jedi. I like that time. So the Mandalorian time is good, and this is a good time. So I was highly interested, but it was a slow fucking crawl.
I liked the first two episodes more than I liked the third one.
Now, I really got a kick out of the character who was all, gussied up and had dyed his uniform a different color. His boss was like, did you change your uniform? And he's like, trying to impress somebody, and then he gets himself in a world of hurt. Because as soon as the guy leaves, he does exactly what he was told not to do, Tiffle, and he's running around, got all this shit going on, and it all blew up in his goddamn face so bad. It was so bad. They thought they were some badasses too, like this, he got his little Scottish little buddy,
Yeah.
yes, I don't. We're going to go wreck these bastards, and I'm like, yeah, they about to get in the world of hurt and shit. So then you got the dual story going on, Tiffabot, with the little boy, you know, and you got Aunt Petunia in this damn show, Tiffabot.
You do, you sure do. There she is.
But I've never seen her act as much. I was like, oh, she's doing really well. I mean, like, they
I
came.
think she's established as like
Oh, I'm sure she is. She's a
I
great.
just don't, she's like, and I can think of her in other things too, but my brain's having a fart.
But she had some moments even in Harry Potter,
Yeah, of course.
like showing her disdain.
I
For
think there
her
was a
sister.
lot of people in Harry Potter.
Oh,
They did this thing in Harry Potter where like they brought in like the children were like the fresh uh who cares, and they're not really that talented. And then they were coming in with the heavy hitters as like the adults.
yeah, all adults were like super duper established.
Yeah, like established
Right.
cinematic
Staples. Yeah.
actors who've won awards.
So, man, so in this first episode, you got this dual story. How are you feeling about the dual story going on?
Yeah, that's him, right?
That's him, 100%. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, because he's
Yeah.
looking for his sister.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that we didn't know what they were saying, but also after a while, I was like, I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to understand because I'm not 100% understanding any of it. Because they were all kids. Like, where were the
I was
adults?
like, where are the adults? But then
That's
like,
the one thing I didn't get. I didn't understand, like, if this was like, was there an accident and these kids?
Yes.
But then were
They
these
bring that up.
children? Were they? That's their language that they had when they landed,
I think that's the language they had.
and all the adults are dead.
The adults were at work and it blew up, and the kids were.
I watched it, but I was confused by that.
The kids were they were at home,
Yeah.
and the adults, they all died. So the kids were left, and so they established a hierarchy, and that crumbled when that separatist ship landed there, and the guy got up and started, he killed the lady, and I guess Cassian was upset about it, so he went back to the damn thing, and that's when he gets shanghaied by Aunt Petunia, because the way they were talking were like something was about to come, and something heavy duty, like I guess the Republic was going to come and make mincemeat out of everybody,
Mhm.
and so I want to see more of that backstory, because I found out that the black dude, I thought they were just like explorers, like unrelated, but they were husband and wife. That the lady who played Aunt Petunia, that was her husband, but you don't see him no more in the future.
I think we'll probably see more flashbacks.
Yeah. I like the little droid.
Okay, I didn't want to talk about the droid because like there's something about the way that the droid moves that bothers me.
Oh yeah, with the little.
Well, I think it's just like it's like I don't know, it's too fast or if it's too slow, but there's something about the movement that I'm like, ah.
What I really say I really appreciate about the show the most is probably just the look of it. It's not that
Mhm.
expensive. They're definitely using the volume, where you could, you have the whole, you can project anything you want, but with the real sets, and it just looks real. And I appreciate that about Star Wars. If it, there are a lot of Star Wars fans, there's prequel Star Wars fans, where everything was so effing fake, and it's just such, for me, a breath of fresh air to be back with a
Mhm.
real set and real stuff.
Yeah, I vote, and I think I don't know if that's just something that's gonna go completely away now that there's just like a generation that has like not know nothing but it, but like definitely has had that kind of like skewed experience to the CGI.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, because for me, I think part of the reason why I enjoy practical effects is because I grew up with them.
Yeah, me too.
But the real reason I enjoy them is because, and I've talked about this all the time, so I apologize, but like, even if the dragon is not real,
Yeah.
the things that make it are the rubber,
Yeah.
the metal, the things that they have made, and because it has that tactile, realistic quality, it makes the suspension of disbelief easier.
Yeah. You can show me something that I know that doesn't exist. But
Right.
you can still
But
touch
because
it.
the animal stuff it's actually there, it makes it seem more real to me. And I guess that's probably something that's maybe part of just like the movie magic that I was used to as a kid. But also I think I'm into a hybrid of like
Yeah, that's the best.
practical and
The
CGI.
best. Yes, it's the best. And too much CGI is just. I hate when I recognize something as CGI.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck.
But that's part of my problem with CGI generally is that like there are things that happen in CGI now like car crashes or like, which is great because I think that it's good that people don't have to get harmed, right?
But
Um,
it sure do look better when somebody
it looks
drives
better
their
when somebody
car
does it,
and
but also
you're like, oh yes.
right. And then there's also like the thing that like, and I'm not like, saying that like I need to see real danger, but what I'm saying is that like um they will sometimes slow down,
Yeah,
and like I've talked about, an effect
and that's when it
of
gets
like,
real
and
bad.
I'm like, why are you doing a slow mo on something that isn't actually happening? A slow mo is for showing me the scope of the ability of something that goes so fast that I can't comprehend it. When it is CGI, I can comprehend that anything could happen.
Yeah,
It could turn into a black hole, suck us all in, spit us back out.
yeah. So you got this. You have this thing going on in the city. I like when the guards came and they were like ting 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 ting, ting, and everybody was like, oh shit. I was like,
I
those
like the drum the most.
they were.
The
Go ahead.
no, like that people who are when he gets up there and does the thing.
Yeah.
That's
They
great.
were those guys, those guards, those police officers were so out of their depth. And to me, the inability to recognize that you were completely outmatched. Looking for this guy, and you should leave. Just I just was like, it's astonishing you guys won't just turn off your male juice and leave. Because it was like, dude, you're not gonna win this. It's bad. Everybody hates y'all. Everybody's against y'all, and y'all steady just pressing forward, pressing forward, pressing forward, and it didn't end well. I mean, they lost the whole ship, and full of dudes, and they was losing people out in the field. And when they took the lady and put handcuffs on her, just because she ran away from them, I was
Mhm.
like, God damn, y'all are some idiots, man. You're not gonna survive. This is bad. This is bad. And so, you know, that episode really got me on board with it. I was already on board but I really was like, damn, this is really effing kind of boring. It's nothing happening. It's like, what's going on? And it was over so fast. Over. Episode was over. I'm like, damn, that was the second episode. This is bad. So, do I? It's Star Wars, so I'm in.
So you're watching the third episode, but did that change it and make you more
Yeah,
excited for the fourth one then?
yes, it did. And full disclosure, I watched the fourth one, and
Oh, so you did watch the fourth one.
I'm totally on board now.
Oh, so you've made it through.
Yes, totally on
You've
board.
you've paid your dues and now you're ready for the good stuff.
Yeah, but just because it's Star Wars or Marvel doesn't it's not an automatic thing for me anymore because like I've been watching the She-Hulk and
The She-Hulk.
it's really turning into Sex in the City with Marvel superhero and I'm just like I don't think I like it, honestly. I did at first, but I don't think I like it anymore. And it's just like it's not uh just because it has Marvel or Star Wars name on it for me now. It's not like yes, I'm in no matter what. So
Sure.
no, no. But I was nervous with the first two episodes, Tiff. It was at a snail's pace. It's like, ugh. But no, I'm good now. Um, so what's the best thing you saw in this whole thing?
I just like his. I liked the kind of like scumming around trying to get all his shit together to get off the planet.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
you know what I should do before I ask you that before we wrap this up. New segment, y'all. All of this is the question, and that'll be what is the good, what is the bad,
what is the
and what is the goddamn ugly of what we just watched. So, Tiff,
all right.
what's your good?
The good, I think, is definitely Diego Luna's great.
Yep, that's true.
I like that this is a different kind of approach but a different approach with obviously Star Wars thematic elements, right?
Yes.
We're looking for a lost sister, but it's a little bit more grungy, right? So I like that. The bad is that like I do think that there is some tendency, like okay, so we understand that this character Andor has something that like or Cassian Casa whatever Cassian Andor's the planet. Cassian is has done something that he didn't want to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he murdered that dude quick.
Right.
I would have did the same thing though. And that,
Sure, he didn't mean to murder him.
right. And that guy was
But he had to murder that when he murdered that other guy. I was like, damn.
Well, he actually didn't murder the first one. That was
no, right. The first one was an accident.
You
The
knew
second
that guy was gonna go, and he was gonna turn on him. It wasn't like they.
I know, but that's the like right. That's the cut
Yeah.
between where you become right. Anyway, so like that's the rough parts because like you're like would he, but like he did obviously, and that's
Oh, he
the whole
didn't even
point.
hesitate. He was like,
I don't know, he seemed like he
ah!
was like run down afterwards, but then I think the ugly is that like for me I can tell this is going in a direction that like farther away from what I want.
Oh shit. Okay. So man, my good is the cash. What they spent on this thing, how
Yeah.
beautiful everything look. It's so beautiful. And just because it's Star Wars doesn't mean it has to be beautiful. Because to be quite honest with you, Boba Fett was not that beautiful of a thing. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. You know, they could. I think they could have did a lot more with Boba Fett. Yes, it's a lot of sand, but it's still a lot more they could have did with it. Especially once they got into the town in that one little set. It just looked like it was a set to me. Like they were only gonna move around on this thing so much. They kept shooting the same angles and shit like that. This world seems wide open, so that's the good to me. You know, there's a lot going on. The bad was the pace, man. The bad was the was the bad was the pace. The first two shows, damn. You know, sometimes you like to throw a little razzle dazzle in there, you know, so you can get people in there. But it's billed as a spy thriller, you know. So, but it just
Where's the spies?
well, Andor is a spy.
I know he is, but like there's been no spying.
Well, you know, they introduced a lot of characters, you know, and so it was very interesting to me. And the acting all around for everyone is spot on to me. Nobody's weak. You know,
No, I don't think there's anybody bad in it.
no. The ugly man.
Ugly.
The length of the goddamn show, man. The 20
Jesus.
minutes was just like,
You didn't even like it. You're like, it was boring. Give me 20 more minutes, please.
well, to me, you probably should have combined the first two shows.
But you thought they were both boring.
But at least it would have got out of the fucking, got out of the way. You know, I'm like, goodness gracious, this shit is like trying to world build so slow, you know. And then the dichotomy between the little kids and the grown,
Yeah.
it really wasn't working for me right at that moment. So maybe if you would have just not wove them in and had part of like the one show be the little kid and the other show something like that, I don't know. The pacing was the worst. So that's the good, the bad, the ugly. The ugly was definitely it's over. Literally, it was like a nothing thing, and they was like, "Tong," you know, Tony Gilroy. I'm like, what the hell? It's over, you know. So I was
Jesus.
pissed. I was pissed, Tiff. I was pissed. But the third show made up for it, got me back in 100%, especially when Skarsgård showed up on the scene and when they were doing the Bush and Sundance Cassidy kid with all the shit falling down and you know in that warehouse and you know they got out of there and the ship that Skarsgård has reminds me of the Millennium Falcon, but it's doper. It's so that shit was dope. Good job. Anyway, so that's it, man. So I know I'm not even going to ask you if you're going to continue to watch it, Tiff, because you disappoint me so often. So
Oh, Jesus.
I'm definitely going to continue watching this to the end, man. And they're set up for multiple seasons already, so goody for me. So that's it, Tiff. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back. You good?
Yeah.
All right. All right, man. Main topic time. Rob Zombie film, The Munsters, man. We talked about this. Wanted to see it. Thought it might be interesting. And so here we go. What do we got here, Tev?
One word? We do one word first?
Oh, no. Well, first I got to talk about it. It says comedy, family, fantasy. PG, exactly. 1 hour and 49 minutes. Wowzers. Let's see.
Wowzers.
Reboot from The Munsters from the 1960s that follow the family of monsters who move from Transylvania to American suburb. Directed by Rob Zombie. Who's in this flick, Tiff?
So the cast is Jeff Daniel Phillips. That's Herman.
Oh, okay.
Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah.
Daniel Roebuck.
Uh-huh.
Richard Brake.
Yeah.
Sylvester McCoy. Jorge Garcia. Catherine Schell. Cassandra Peterson. Elvira. That's Elvira herself.
Okay.
She's in this movie,
really?
but she's not as Elvira. She's the real estate agent.
I thought so. Yeah.
Dee Wallace. And then a bunch of other people. Who cares? Pat Priest, Butch Patrick.
Yep. So, man, before we go any further, it is time for one. God
Yep.
damn it. One. Word.
You should have made that sound. Can you do that? Yeah, oh my god, I didn't mean you. I thought you had some sound effects, but yes, perfect.
So, Tiff, one word.
Cute.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I thought this was really cute.
Oh, okay.
I cannot wait to hear your one word.
My one word is awful.
I knew it. Here's the thing. I knew as soon as it came on and what was happening that like it was bizarre, it was choppy, just not for you.
Awful. Yeah. You know,
I actually took so much delight sort of in like watching it and thinking about you.
so
Like I don't even know, I can't even separate my own feelings about this film from the delightful thoughts I was having of you watching it.
First of all, well, let's hit those spoilers.
Spoilers.
So, it's my biggest issue with this film was I don't think it knew what the hell it wanted to be, because if this would have been like a Nickelodeon TV series, I'm like, okay, that's probably.
Well, I think that it had a definite intent to keep it feeling like a television show.
I think it did too, but I just did not think it worked. Oh my god.
I loved the colors. The characters are goofy and strange, just like the show. It had like the kind of like bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah, I thought
shit happening.
Fell so short on a lot of that stuff. First of all, oh my god, the original Lily, that's a fine woman there, boy. This woman here, whatever. And I don't.
I love her.
I don't know what she was doing with the, Herman. Yeah, I was like, what is she doing? Lily didn't act like that. I know she was doing her rendition of Lily, but I didn't feel it. Anyway, so let's get into it, man. This thing starts there. One thing, the colors. I did, Rob Zombie, it's like, I guess, released some stuff saying, I guess he wanted it to be in black and white, but it didn't happen. But I'm glad it wasn't, because I thought the most delightful thing about it was all the little, what do you call those, shades?
Yeah, there was like, it's like kind of like jazz shades. They were like what you'd see in like an old like back alley blues jazz music movie.
I appreciated that. I thought that was good stuff. But from the first moment we get, the Blake character, who was, pseudo Dr. Frankenstein.
Right. So he's making the perfect man.
Yeah, and the jokes were just so flat. I was like,
see, like some of the things were actually making me laugh, because I was like, I think I also came into this movie knowing that like it was gonna be like.
I knew it too, but I just figured it would be better than this. I didn't
hate it. I don't know. I can't explain it. I didn't dislike it. I was smiling the whole time. I don't know if that makes a good movie. I just enjoyed myself.
Okay, I got you. So the jokes were flat, and he took the zombie's hands, and I was like, oh, okay, he must be making Herman. I didn't know at first what was happening, but they're making Herman, and so then we get the grandfather, who the Count. And his daughter, and she goes on a date, and I try to enjoy the date. I like when she was coming down the hallway with the with the frozen thing floating. I thought that was cool. And then the guy liked his rats and shit like that, and
I think that's the kind of like comedy subversion, right? Is that you think that he's gonna try to kill her? He just likes the rats.
Well, no, it's the Munsters, so I knew there was no danger.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the joke, right? Like it's calling back to these old like harmless. I like that it didn't turn into something like weird. Not that I wouldn't have hated that either.
Well, I didn't need to see the banana splits over or nothing like that. I didn't think it needed to be adult. I just think the humor just needed to be a little bit more older, because it was so like SpongeBob SquarePants to me. I was just like, wow, this is like for
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Little kids, but even with little kids, this shit might scare them.
Yeah, I'd see like I get kind of the disparity that you're seeing here. Because like it does kind of feel like the jokes and stuff that and the woo woo would like appeal to like very, very young children.
Yeah.
But I also think at the same time there might be things that just the way things look and whatever that like might creep children out, right? They could definitely potentially be like a thing that you're like, because it is relatively harmless. So you think, sure, maybe your kid watch it, and then like 30 years later, they have like uh uh nipple piercings that pull back and they're like fucking in their Munster wig.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you're just fucking them up because you have no idea.
yeah. So you know, they did some things that was a little different. Like they had the werewolf being introduced that was normally the son Eddie, but he was what Lester, who was the brother, and
I don't know if that was like a thing to be like that would be why
they moved.
Eddie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that was a pseudo Eddie. That they.
Well, this is a prequel. This is not.
Yeah, I get it, but
So there's no Eddie yet.
the fact of not having Eddie was, we're gonna make an
Sure.
actual werewolf instead of just having a little kid with a little funny looking shorts on with the pointy
The
ears.
shorts. That's what werewolves are. Is little shorts.
Yeah. So, uh,
There
yeah,
really isn't a lot to say about the plot of this movie because the plot of this movie is basically like he's made.
I don't even.
He's
The
looking
plot
for a
was,
husband.
yeah.
They get married.
Oh, it had several plots, right? Because the first
Right.
was the hookup, and
But that's like the boop 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 the three sets of the you know what I mean?
yeah, and then they go on a honeymoon and they find the dragon that's underneath.
Right. So this was like literally like showing you every little thing that happens.
Yeah, the house gets sold. I don't care about any of this. Then they go to America. Now, I think the most delightful part to me was the Halloween party in America.
Yeah.
The suburbs. I kind of enjoyed that. I was like, oh, they having a good time. Of course, they think all these ghouls are ghouls, but they're not ghouls. They're just people, and the next day they get up and it's like, literally the 50s, with the sweater.
Right. And I liked that. I like the reversal, right? They're horrified.
Yeah.
Other people have been horrified. I mean, I think it's all very charming and cute. I like that it stayed true to like how the vision of that would have appeared. I feel like if somehow they would take the show and it hadn't existed, but as it existed today, this just makes sense in a lot of ways. I don't know how to explain it. I had a good time.
That it was a film because to me,
It felt like a show. It seemed like it would be a show and that it could be a show.
yeah, I felt like it was really, really out of place being a film that's almost 2 hours long.
Film.
Film.
I will say that like that's another really weird experience for me as far as like watching movies is like I don't like sometimes like maybe part of like watching this movie that was so enjoyable for me is that like it was so not caring in the way that it had this particular thing to do and say and it's what it wanted to do and say and I kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But I can see why that would be bothersome, especially like I can see that Rob Zombie clearly loved the show. There's no doubt that there's not everything in this is like a loving homage.
Yeah.
But I can also see someone else who loved the show, who like you, who was not Rob Zombie or have the same feelings or thoughts or life experiences afterwards, might see it as like not the greatest.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was awful. So let's let's bring in our new segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly, Tiff. So what was the good, the bad, and the mugly?
Okay, the good is that it is just shamelessly like delightfully goofy.
Okay.
Like I do like the fact that like sometimes I know that they know that what's happening is like not gonna wouldn't get a laugh because it's just not the way. But then that makes me laugh. I like that.
Gotcha.
The characters I thought were great.
Okay.
Like I loved the little manager guy.
Oh, the Igor.
The Igor.
He wasn't Igor, but
yeah,
he had a hump in his back and stuff.
And
flop actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I liked, and I just thought it was kind of charming. But then the bad, I would say, because of the nature of the film and the story itself, it is sometimes hard to tell if someone's doing a bad job or a good job at acting.
Very true.
And I know that that's a really weird thing to say or even be concerned about, but like, I'm like, is this a choice or is something bad happening?
Yes.
And so then that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, especially if things did kind of like go too long or, do you know what I mean? Got beaten to a point. But I do think a lot of those old TV shows kind of did do that. They would just like beat things into the ground. People wanted to see the same joke. Also, I was delighted at the end when they come out in the same way. That was very cute.
Oh yeah. That's a TV.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It kind of went back. That's so cute. Anyway, the ugly, I would say, is that I actually think that if I watch this movie again, I would like it more. But sometimes the first viewing of a movie, like because it was like the plot is very straightforward, correct? Like
Yeah,
marriage,
yeah,
change,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fish out of water, and then we're introduced in like that kind of slide into the show is how you would do it. But because of the way that there was like some kind of like everything kind of felt like you like a ride or a place you'd go to at Disney World. Now they're at Camp Cavern.
Sure did.
Now they're at this, and that felt weird.
Sure
So I
did.
would say that that's probably the ugliest part of it is that it felt like a theme park I was visiting, which
Yeah,
isn't a bad experience, but maybe the integration could have been smoother.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, the good for me was the lighting, and that's
Oh, for sure. I
a
said that
weird
earlier. I
thing to
didn't say it
say.
earlier, but it was kind of like strangely beautiful. Like if you watch this movie on mute, you might really like it.
Yeah, I mean, so it didn't have a film quality to it, but the lighting was pretty dynamic and very interesting. Um, the bad was, oh my goodness, where do I go? The bad was right with the acting. I wasn't sure if it was bad acting or were they doing a good job at doing bad acting, or nothing worked for me as far as what was coming out of anybody's mouth or something like that. I didn't like the choice that Lily made. Herman wasn't so bad. I didn't really care for Grandpa. So on the old Munsters, they don't call him the Count. They call him Grandpa, but he's not a Grandpa yet. But it was always Grandpa.
Oh, sure. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. And the ugly was the writing. My God, it was just terrible. I just was like wondering, like, you know, I might have
But I'm
liked
not
it
sure what
better.
you're saying that you don't like about the writing because it's very similar in style to the way that they spoke and did that kind of stuff back
Yeah,
then.
but that was so long
So
ago.
are you wishing that like instead of doing it, it would have been an homage in the sense that like they spoke the way that they would speak
No, no,
now
no,
if
no,
it
no.
was made it
It
now?
wasn't. It wasn't exactly. I didn't mind that they were, behaving like the monsters of old. But I know it's old. I'm kind of saying kind of two damn things right here. I know it's confusing, but I just didn't think that the writing went anywhere. Like you talked about the plot. Could we have a real
I
plot?
see what you're
No,
saying.
it
But
just
like again, I think that that was also.
it was a choice. They made that choice, and I just was like, ugh, what
But
the
I get
hell?
it. I can totally see that.
And even with them moving to America, it didn't seem like that was the real plot. You know what I'm
I
saying?
loved all the interstitials where they were like driving in the car or they were walking in Paris.
Yeah, I
I
thought
see it. That's like stuff you didn't like.
so. That was the ugly for me. So, yeah,
So,
man, I'm mad I watched this. So anyway,
wow, I'm actually listen. I am sorry you had a bad time, but
I'm glad one of us did.
I'm
I'm
glad
glad
you
one.
had a bad time because I liked thinking about your bad time because of all the bad times I've had because of you.
Hey, right. So
I
here we go.
paid like $40 altogether for my movie experience to see Transformers.
Wow. Well, transform. Well, Bumblebee was good.
Bumblebee? No, fine, whatever. Knights of
Bumblebee.
the Round Table, whatever that
That, that,
fucking piece of shit was.
that was terrible. It
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. And I paid all that. Now I'm happy that you hated this and accidentally paid $5.99 for it.
Sure did. Holy shit.
Mm,
Yeah, see
you're
what
in the hole for
y'all
the. You hated it and they paid $5.99 for it.
No. Shit. It makes it so much worse, right?
And you're paying for Netflix anyway. You already have it, so you kind of paid for it to happen on there too.
God damn it, right? Damn it.
Anyway, okay, we did it, folks. We did it. Montego has been sufficiently downgraded for the day. He's gonna feel low all day.
You damn right. So I'm the host of this train wreck. Which
What? And I'm the caboose.
right. So join us next week, man. It's Halloweeny time, man. So we kind of kicked it off early, man. So next week, I think we already made up our mind. We're gonna do a new horror movie called Smile, man, and we're gonna see.
I'm so glad that I have a reason to see this without feeling ashamed of myself.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
there we go. So tune in next week, man. I think Smooth is coming over, so we might have something to do with for the Patreon and stuff.
Okay.
So we'll see where that goes. And me and Tiff need to pick a Patreon because we need to get some shit out. So we'll have something out for you guys this week. Until next week, man. Shit, I'm all messed up. So say goodbye to the people, Tiff.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Until next week, man. We will be on
On patrol.
Time.